Tonight on Coyote News, midterm elections are coming up next week. Find out how you can make your voice heard. And a former One Tree Hill member performed a concert at USD. I'm Brent Seehofer.
And I'm Kathleen Surrey. Halloween is only 2 days away. Find out how students plan on spending the spooky holiday. And with the semester halfway through, students are already looking forward to the spring and registering for classes.
Plus, the USD women's soccer team will end the season with a winning record for the first time at the Division I level. And the Coyote football team scored against NDSU for the first time in 3 years. But first, the headlines with Delaney Schenk.
The rocket was unmanned and there weren't any injuries or deaths. North Korean officials have released information on why leader Kim Jong-un disappeared from the public for 6 weeks. During a closed-door meeting, it was announced that Kim had ankle surgery after finding a cyst. Photos surfaced earlier this month with Kim out in public, but with a cane. Before then, he hadn't been seen in public since September 3rd. And those are your headlines.
As we mentioned already, Halloween is just a couple of days away, which means the haunted house business is in full swing. This weekend, drama students at Vermilion High School hosted their 14th annual haunted house. Each year, students are in charge of picking out a theme and creating their own room. Theater director Mary Bagley says she enjoys watching the students be so creative with their work.
They create the whole scenario for each of their rooms that they're in, so it's really their own creation and it changes every year, and I enjoy just watching that creativity.
The money raised from the haunted house goes toward the drama club and student scholarships. If you missed out on the haunted house, there will be plenty of Halloween activities this weekend. Events will begin tomorrow with the Coyotes Halloween Howl in the Muck.
If you've seen political candidates walking around campus lately, there's a good explanation. The presence of candidates and political events is leading up to Election Day. Clay Hoffman is with the USD's College Democrats, and he says students should be at the polls on November 4th.
And I'm all in favor of those.
I think it's very important for college students to vote because, one, it's your future. These people that are going to be elected will be making huge decisions in the future.
Voters in Clay County will vote at the National Guard Armory. Hoffman says you can find out more voting information online.
What you can do is go onto the Secretary of State's website, and there's a information portal there, and you just type in your name and your birth date, and you'll find out whether you're registered to vote and where you're registered to vote.
The portal also gives you access to a sample ballot. General Election Day takes place next Tuesday. Young voters can make a difference in elections, and to encourage college students to get out and vote, South Dakota Secretary of State Jason Gant visited the university. Coyote News' Victoria Harmony caught up with Secretary Gant about how students can vote in the midterm election.
Voting season is fast approaching, yet numbers are still down for college-age voters.
During the 2012 election, we had around 62% of all South Dakotans cast their ballot. However, the 18 to 30-year-old demographic was only in the 40% range. So we want to try and encourage those individuals who are 18 to 30 to, first of all, register to vote and then cast their ballot on Election Day.
Gant is focusing on college-age voters for the upcoming election as the older demographic is polling at consistently high numbers.
We see the 65 and over age demographic voting in the 70 and 80% range. Our goal is to try and get the 18 to 30-year-old demographic to meet those expectations of a high voter turnout.
In order to appeal to the younger audience, Gant helped to launch a user-friendly mobile application during the primary election.
The mobile app for the Secretary of State's office is called Vote 605, and what you can do after you download that app is you're able to put in your name and zip code, and it will tell you if you're registered to vote or not, and if you are registered, it will tell you where your polling place is, so it'll even give you turn-by-turn directions on how to get to your polling place. And probably the best tool with this mobile app is the fact that your sample ballot is right there.
Also available on the app are the ballot questions. This season, South Dakota's ballot includes minimum wage, healthcare, and gambling. For Coyote News, I'm Victoria Harmony.
Coming up, learn step-by-step how to register for classes next semester. And see what popular TV show actor and singer Cab brought to campus last week. Stay with us.
What made you pair up with the sound to show your school spirit?
Go for the up and under, and that one will fall forward.
91.1 Coyote Radio.
The second half of the semester is well underway, and students are starting to register for classes for next semester. Students with the most credits have seniority in the registration process, but before anyone begins, they must first meet with their advisor. Freshmen and sophomores meet with advisors in the Academic and Career Planning Center. Each advisor in the ACPC works with about 200 students. Sarah Peterson is one of those advisors, and she says students need to be prepared.
But you want to do it as soon as you can because classes really do fill up, and so to get the choices that you want, you'll want to get in there and register as soon as you're able.
Peterson says the most difficult part for freshmen is learning how to use WebAdvisor. So the ACPC has put together a 6-minute YouTube video to help freshmen with the process. Peterson also advises students to sign up for a class's wait list if they want to take the course, but to register for a Plan B as well. Registration will continue until November 14th.
The Campus Activities Board had One Tree Hill fans at the edge of their seats last week in Alf's Auditorium. USD hosted actor, singer, and songwriter Tyler Hilton for one of the many fall concerts this year. Hilton sang and played guitar, performing a variety of songs, including original tracks as well as covers. Hilton also played music from his time on the hit TV show One Tree Hill, which aired from 2003 to 2012. But CAB doesn't just bring in talented acts. They also challenge students to compete and showcase their skills. Coyote News' Jackie Hendry is live in the muck with Alexandra Mattern, organizer of the So You Think Got Talent Can Dance, the last competition for the students. Jackie?
Thanks, Brent. Well, after tryouts last week, the contestants are all ready to face off tonight in Alf's Auditorium. Thanks for joining us tonight, Alex. So for those of us who might have missed the tryouts last week, what can you tell us about that process and how the contestants were chosen?
Basically, anybody can be in the show. We just wanted to make sure that we had a substantial amount of talent to have a show, so that's what the purpose of the tryouts last week were for.
Great, and what can students expect from the event tonight and how a winner will be chosen?
Students can expect that there will be a lot of fun performances tonight, so anybody who really likes dance or just likes to be entertained can come out, and there will just be a talent and performance evaluation, and that's how the winner will be chosen. There's going to be a first, second, and third place prize. So.
And what inspired CAB to put on this sort of event?
What inspired it was SDSU had one, and it was really a really big success. So I thought, why not have one here?
Great. Thanks so much. That was Alex Mattern about the Yotes. So Yotes Think They Can Dance tonight at 8 p.m. in Alf's Auditorium. Live in the muck, I'm Jackie Hendry.
Thanks, Jackie. With the university bringing in large events, students turn to social media to document their presence. Coyote News' Abby Pierce talks about why we should think about what we post before we post it.
Lately, I have been hearing a lot about how our digital footprints, or everything we have ever posted online, never really go away, and how employers and those who hire or not hire look at applicants' social media accounts. Do you put a lot of thought into what you post online? With the amount of social media and the internet that we all use these days, it seems like a pretty important thing to think about. Even things that you delete could still be out there. Think about how many times you've taken a screenshot of a picture, tweet, or conversation on your phone and shown someone else. Even things as private as text messages and emails can be shared with others. Basically, the point I'm trying to get across is that yes, we are in college and we should be having fun, but we should also be mindful of the content we're posting online because ultimately, we're here to prepare ourselves to go out there and get jobs. Even though your friends might think it's funny or cool, potential employers might not be as impressed by the photo of you doing a cake stand or your scandalous Halloween costume. Try and use your best judgment, and if you're questioning whether it's appropriate or not, it probably isn't. For Coyote Blog, I'm Abby Pierce.
Thanks, Abby. Coming up after the break, find out how one student organization is helping to feed the hungry, and hear why students are encouraged to stay on campus on weekends. Stay with us. The USD Symphony Orchestra performed their fall concert in Alf's Auditorium Friday. The band, under the direction of Rick Rongstad, showcased 5 pieces of music with multiple movements in each. One piece was the Infernal Dance from The Firebird by Igor Stravinsky. Members of the orchestra include music majors and musicians who just play for the love of the music. Members are required to have sections of music learned before each of their weekly 3-hour practices. The orchestra holds concerts every few months, allowing them to perfect each piece of music while still having frequent performances.
While the orchestra was performing as a group, individual students took the stage of the Colton Recital Hall to show off their piano skills. USD's Department of Music presented Pianists in Recital. The event gave the students a chance to play works of music in front of a community crowd. Pianists perform anywhere from 1 to 3 songs, including famous works from artists like Ludwig van Beethoven and Frank Lyons. Several of these students will be competing in the SDMTA and MTNA piano competitions on November 7th and 8th.
Even though Vermilion is a small community, hunger is still a big issue. One student organization is helping to feed this need with its annual food drive. Coyoteopoly is often referred to as a student corporation that teaches members about business by doing business. Their current project is a food drive to benefit the Vermilion Food Pantry. Last Tuesday, volunteers stapled informational sheets to 3,500 plastic bags, and on Friday, students distributed these to homes in the Vermilion community. Coyoteopoly President Cody Parliament says the food drive is one of the group's best events.
Coyoteopoly is a great example of a group that, while it's helping us learn and how to do business and we get this experience, it was also helping 6,000 people eat. It's also helping children, adults, everyone that needs help. And it's a really great feeling to be a part of something like that.
Parliament says the food pantry is likely to serve around 6,000 people in the Vermilion and Clay County area this year, and Coyoteopoly helps raise 50% of the food for those people. Volunteers will pick up the bags on Friday and will sort the donations the next day at the Trinity Lutheran Church. Since 2004, Coyoteopoly has raised over 70,000 items for the Vermilion Food Pantry.
The weekend is a time to relax and take a break from school. But on this week's Yote Report, Nicole Griffith shows us how you can still be active during the weekend without leaving campus.
One night out of the year, students gather for Muck Madness. They come and go as they please, even past midnight. Activities included playing bingo, a beanbag toss competition, a hypnotist, and an improv club. Although the madness took place on a campus of over 10,000 students, not that many were there.
Before you pack your bag and head home for the weekend, make sure you check to see what the university has to offer before you miss out.
Events vary from appearances by Mission Improbable, speakers, concerts, movies in the Muck, and more. Madison Roberts is a graduate assistant, and she helps bring Muck events to life.
You know, you're only in college once, and if you just constantly go home every weekend, then you're sort of missing out on the whole experience, and home's always going to be there, but college just flies by.
Prizes such as Coyote Cash and apparel are often given away. You can check the Commons wall for future events. It has flyers for each day of the week, and you can follow USD campus activities and USD Muck on Twitter. For the Yote Report, I'm Nicole Griffith.
If you'd like a schedule of activities for this semester, the Muck Information Desk has them for free. Coming up next, a USD volleyball player was named Summit League Defensive Player of the Week for the 3rd time this year. But first, hear how the soccer team did against in-state rivals SDSU. Stay tuned.
Not getting your message across clearly? Contact Kyle Creative for all your promotional needs.
Tonight on Coyote Sports, the USD women's soccer team will end the season with a winning record for the first time at the Division I level, no matter the outcome of the next 2 games. I'm Charlie Daldorf.
And I'm Erica Arpan. The men's basketball team is hoping to improve from their losing record last year and with a new coach. And the Coyote football team scored against NDSU for the first time since 2010. But first, the headlines. Delaney?
The Kansas City Royals shut out the San Francisco Giants 10-0 to send the World Series to a final Game 7. Starting pitchers tonight are Jeremy Guthrie for the Royals and Tim Hudson for the Giants. Hudson, 39, will be the oldest Game 7 starter in the history of the World Series. The game starts tonight at 7. Champ Bailey, one of the most decorated cornerbacks in the NFL history, announced his retirement yesterday. Bailey made 12 Pro Bowls, which is tied for the 3rd most ever for a defensive player. Drafted as the 7th overall pick in the 1999 NFL Draft, he played 5 seasons in Washington and 10 in Denver. He finished his career with 52 interceptions. Georgia running back Todd Gurley must sit out 2 more games for accepting cash for autographed memorabilia. Earlier today, the NCAA ruled that Gurley must pay a portion of his proceeds to charity and complete 40 hours of community service. Gurley accepted more than $3,000 in cash. And those are your headlines.
The Coyote soccer team has recorded 9 shutouts this season, but this success hasn't been easy for the team. 4 years ago, this was a very familiar look. The opponent scoring the goals and USD ending the season with a losing record. This year, the women have turned around the program and have a winning record, including 9 wins so far. This year's success is led by 11 seniors, and the Coyotes are ranked in the top 20 nationally in multiple categories. USD leads the Summit League in goals scored and assists per game. Despite the 3-1 loss to SDSU, the seniors showed their Coyote pride.
Your final score, South Dakota State 3.
USD has 2 more games left of the season, but no matter the outcomes, the Coyotes will have a winning record at the Division I level for the first time in school history.
The volleyball team went 1-1 this weekend, losing to Oral Roberts in 5 games on Friday before bouncing back to sweep Omaha on Sunday. Melissa Furtko was named Summit League Defensive Player of the Week for the 3rd time this year. She recorded 12 blocks, 10 digs, and 10 kills in the 2 games. Furtko and libero Riley Haug have combined to receive the honor for 5 of the past 6 weeks. USD is currently sitting in 2nd place in the league with an 8-2 record. The Cows have 4 home games left in the season, including a Halloween matchup against Fort Wayne. USD celebrated breast cancer awareness with several activities last week, including the Big Pink volleyball tournament held on Thursday. The A-team tournament took place in the Wellness Center. There wasn't an entrance fee, but donations were encouraged. All the proceeds from the tournament and the week's activities were given to the Susan G. Komen Foundation. Other events included a pink walk from Sanford Hospital to the Dakota Dome before the football game on Saturday, while the proceeds from the walk benefit the Edith Sanford Breast Cancer Research Fund.
The USD men's basketball team is predicted to finish 8th in the Summit League, but with a new head coach, their hopes are high. Craig Smith came to USD in March from Nebraska, where he was an assistant for the Huskers. Smith has brought in 3 new assistant coaches, and the team had 8 new players. Senior guard Brandon Boss was named the preseason second team and will be looking to lead the Coyotes this season. They'll start off the year at Utah Valley 16 days from today. And now, Coyote News' Megan Card is live in the muck with guard Brandon Boss. Megan?
Thanks, Erica. The men's basketball team may have had a losing record last season, but eyes are now turning to the first-year coach, Craig Smith, on what difference he's having on this year's players. Thanks for joining me today, Brandon. What kind of tone and mentality does Coach Smith, bring to the court?
He says this term called GATA, get after their you-know-what. Basically, it's what he describes it as is a relentless pursuit of the ball. He just wants us to always have high energy, always be flying around, and just play as hard as we can every time we step on the floor.
What do you think the biggest hurdles are going to be this year for the team?
I would say for us, it's the fact that we have 8 new guys and really just bonding together, learning each other's strengths and weaknesses. But I feel like over these first few weeks of practice, we've really done a good job of that, getting to know each other, and I think we're molding pretty well heading into the start of the season.
Is there any player in particular that you're really excited to get on the court with?
I don't have one in particular. All the guys I'm excited to play with.
And how does his style differ than Coach Boots?
I would say their defensive principles. Coach Boots, he liked to play a lot more zone on defense, whereas Coach Smith emphasized a lot more man. But Coach Boots had a great coaching career here, and I'm sure Coach Smith will do the same.
Great, thank you. That was senior guard Brandon Boss talking about the future of USD's men's basketball team under the direction of Craig Smith. Live from the muck, I'm Megan Card.
Thank you, Megan. Although USD suffered a 47-7 loss to top-ranked North Dakota State, the Coyotes scored against the Bison for the first time since 2010, and for the first time as a Division I school. USD's lone score came with 35 seconds left in the first half as Riley Donovan caught a 10-yard pass from quarterback Kevin Earl. Kicker Miles Bergner was honored by the Fred Mitchell Award for the second consecutive month. Bergner has made 14 consecutive field goals dating back to last season. He's the only kicker in the FCS who's made more than 11 field goals this season without a miss. The Coyotes have lost their last 4 games and will play Youngstown State on Saturday. For the 3rd straight week, USD diver Grayson Herding was named Summit League Diver of the Week. This is the 13th time she has won the award in her career. In a duel at Iowa State, Herding posted a career best in the 3-meter dive with a 293.65 and a season high in the 1-meter dive with a score of 275.55. These marks qualified Herding for the NCAA Zone Championship and also lead the conference. USD hosts Omaha on November 6th.
In this week's sports commentary, Malachi Peterson talks about the good, the bad, and the ugly in college football.
It's nearly November. That means we have a good idea of who the real deal is in college football this year. So let's start off with the good. Mississippi State has come out of nowhere, literally. They went from unranked to #1 in just 5 weeks. That's the quickest ascension to the top spot in the 78-year history of the AP polls. They're now 7-0 and shouldn't be going anywhere, at least for a little while. Their next big matchup isn't until November 15th when they play at Alabama. Now for the bad. College football in general. I'm sorry, but doesn't it just seem wrong to you that Todd Gurley lost his eligibility for getting $400 for a piece of memorabilia he signed? But it isn't a problem that the Alabama boosters just gave Nick Saban $3.1 million to pay off the rest of his home. Get Gurley back on the field. In the ugly, Florida State. Another off-the-field incident? Come on. Their starting running back, Carlos Williams, is being investigated for domestic assault. Tallahassee continues to be the hotbed of bad publicity. Ending on a positive note, we do have a great matchup of 2 top 10 teams on Saturday. Auburn versus Ole Miss, so at least that should be entertaining. For Coyote Sports, I'm Malachi Peterson.
Coming up after the break, find out how USD's honors program students are giving back to the community and what they think it means to be a Coyote. Stay with us.
What is this?
Obstacle course training. It's how we prepare our staff to get you the news first. Not bad. The Volant, first to the news, first to you. The student's voice for 125 years.
The leaves are falling from the trees and costumes and candy are hitting the shelves of stores, meaning Halloween is just around the corner.
On this week's Out and About, we asked students what their plans are for Halloween.
Probably dress up with some friends and maybe have a get-together, maybe a little party scenario. Me and my friend are actually doing Sherlock and Watson.
Maybe spend it watching some scary movies with my girlfriend.
I'm actually shaving my hair for Shavetober.
I am going to be wearing a super secret costume that I can't talk about right now.
I'm thinking about being a nurse.
We actually get married.
Yeah.
I'm going to Teak Dance Night.
I'll be Jake from State Farm. She's going to be Flo.
Yeah. I'm going to be a tiger.
I actually don't have any plans for Halloween yet, so nothing so far.
Me and my roommate are going as the, she's going to be a Dalmatian and I'm going to be the, what's her name?
I'm going to dress up as Superman.
Goodness.
We will just be wandering around the streets of Vermilion doing God knows what.
Cruella de Vil. Gosh, thank you.
As mentioned earlier in the newscast, there are many Halloween activities going on this week.
As we continue our What It Means to Be a Coyote series, learn about the Zombie Crawl, an activity that students in the Honors Program put on for students at USD.
Being a USC Honors student means more than extra study time. It means extra opportunities to learn and make a difference, like last week's charity zombie walk.
I decided to be in honors because I've just heard about it and I thought it sounded like a really good opportunity, and I knew I would be surrounded by students that have the same goals as I do academically.
Quite frankly, I was really excited about being with like-minded individuals and taking some of the fun electives that honors students get to take versus some of just kind of the general classes.
You get a lot of opportunities, definitely. I got an email from Honors basically inviting me to go study abroad in Peru, and I'm going to do that. So you get fantastic opportunities. That's my favorite part, at least.
Honors students take being a coyote just as seriously as they take their studies.
For me, to be a coyote is the be-all you can be. It means going the extra step. It means taking those extra classes.
Being a coyote means being part of a community that's greater than yourself. It's being a part of an amazing experience. I really loved my time here, so that's what I'd want for every coyote.
It means to have school spirit and just to have fun, but also be a good person and care about others and participate in events like the zombie walk and other charities.
Be the best coyote you can be, and keep an eye out for all the opportunities USC has to offer.
Children in Florida County may experience a cruel trick instead of sweet treats this Halloween, thanks to a group of wild hogs that are wreaking havoc on homes. Authorities say the feral hogs have been recently running amok throughout neighborhoods in Brevard County on the Atlantic coast near Orlando. These animals have already destroyed up to 17 yards by ripping up the grass in search of food and damaging sidewalks with their feces. Law enforcement hired licensed tracker James Dean to capture the hogs in the hopes that they won't pose danger to children trick-or-treating on Halloween. Dean says he's already caught 11. A new edition of the Volant hit newsstands today. Be sure to pick up a copy and read about the new Multicultural Center at USD and find out how many students attended the career fair last week. That's all for Coyote News. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
Have a great night. We'll see you next time.